Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll be doing a review on the Title Boxing Customato slip bag. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so before I do the review of this bag, I'll give you guys a quick close-up. First things first, the bag itself is made of 100% genuine leather construction. This brown leather has more of a satin finish to it. You have the Title Boxing and Customato logo that's printed on the radius of the bag with black welted seams as well as black laces. You can see the panel stitching. Stitching is okay, definitely be better. It says made in India where it's manufactured. You also have this nylon rope that is connected to the top of the bag and tied off, very old school like. And you also have this black electrical tape to keep the end from fraying. I have my nylon rope attached to my garage door railing, but you also have a metal hook that's connected at the very top of the rope, so you can connect it to your ceiling in your garage, your gym, or wherever you're going to be using this slip bag. But a very simple but effective setup. So let's go ahead and do the review. Hey, what's up guys? Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Title Boxing Customato slip bag. This retails for $34.99 on Title's website. It's made of full genuine leather construction and is manufactured in India. It has this really nice satin brown leather with black welded seams, black laces, as well as brown stitching. If there was any area that I think could improve with this bag, would definitely be the stitching, especially around this crown portion where the piping is at. It could be tightened up and done a little bit cleaner, as well as down here. You see the stitching was done kind of sloppy. You do have the Title Boxing as well as Customato logos printed on white, in white on the bag. The bag itself is roughly about 8 to 10 pounds, and I believe it's filled with both sand. The majority is sand, as well as kind of like a fabric, maybe some type of foam, but very firm. It has a good amount of weight to it, so when you swing the bag, it carries its momentum very nicely. And if your defense isn't tight and you do get hit in the face or in the head with the bag, you definitely know that you got hit. So it reminds you to keep your defense nice and tight. You do have a 4-foot nylon rope, which is long enough really for any type of home gym or typical gym, or you can use it outdoors, hanging from a tree. If you need more length than that, then you can just add to that. But you do have that 4-foot nylon rope. At the end of each nylon, the cut nylon, you also have a couple pieces of black electrical tape, which helps it prevent it from fraying. So overall, a very simple setup, but a very effective tool. Now, Customato really needs no introduction. He was the coach, trainer, teacher, father figure of Mike Tyson. When Mike first started boxing, Cus taught him the peekaboo style. I know a lot of us, I've always been interested in this style of boxing. It's one of the styles that over the years, you don't see too many people utilize it. And I think, in my opinion, it does take a special trainer, somebody that has experience in this particular style to use it effectively, just like the shoulder roll or the Philly shell or whatever you want to call it, Floyd style. There's a lot more intricacy that goes and technique that goes into the style. Where the slip bag comes in is that this was one of the main training apparatus that Cus would use with Mike, because Mike fought at heavyweight. So the majority of the people he fought were typically both taller and longer than him in reach. So in order for him to be able to effectively use his offense and cut that distance between him and his opponent, Mike had, well, other than just being athletically gifted, he had a huge base, large legs, big trunk, great midsection. His peekaboo style was much more squared up than a traditional orthodox stance or even a southpaw stance. So you're basically exposing your front a lot more with the peekaboo style. You have your hands right up here against kind of right at the ridge of your cheek to protect your face, but you're much more squared up, so you're a lot more exposed to your opponent. So with that being said, there was a lot more of a focus on explosive movement with your footwork. His feet were a little bit closer together and more front facing, and then he would use his torso and his base to really work on his slipping and his bobbing and weaving, and that's where this slip bag really came into play. And you would see him, there's plenty of videos on YouTube that you guys can watch on Mike using this slip bag, and it really worked on him bobbing and weaving. to effectively cut the distance. So he would kind of come over, he can weave and use his footwork and then go to a hook to the body. It's basically his famous combination, hook to the body and then uppercut right up the middle. And you saw him do that to so many of his opponents, and it worked so effectively. It was awesome to watch. So to me, this is where the slip bag is so important. I feel like it's kind of a lost art. Typically when you go to the gym, you see a lot of people using the heavy bag, sparring, double end bag, speed bag, but you rarely see anybody using the slip bag. It's usually the seasoned pros, the guys that are really working on their defense. Now, this bag itself, you know, for me to say that it performs better than another slip bag, there's really not much to it. It's really a bag that's just filled with a lot of sand. To me, the big difference with this one is the aesthetics. If you want more of that vintage, old school look with that nylon rope that's kind of spun around and then tied up at the top, and you have that brown vintage leather, then that's kind of the look you're going for. At the price point of $34.99, I think it's a solid deal. I mean, you're looking at, for most slip bags, at least good quality ones that are made of leather, anywhere between like $24 to $40. It's kind of the range you're looking at. So I think it's right there in the wheelhouse, especially for those. I mean, from a performance standpoint, it works well. You can see it maintains its momentum really nicely. And you want that, you don't want a bag to be too light, because if the bag is too light, it might slow down too quick. So this is really nice in the fact that you can really work your head movement. You know, even if you're a traditional boxer, as far as like your stance goes, it's really important to use a slip bag. That way you can get used to working your combinations, and it forces you to move your head. So you can see, even if I'm not, the best way to say it is, if I'm not being perfect with my slipping and my movements, this will hit me either on the side of the head, on the back of my head, and it just forces you to really crouch in and get in and use your legs when it comes to using your defense and your head movement. You can't be just completely static and your head on the center line the entire time. You know, it forces you to, you can use your shoulder roll, you can use it to parry shots, just kind of simulate the jab coming in, jab and shoulder rolling, jab then coming over, coming that, you can do that, you can parry the jab and then come with your own jab. You can parry the right, hand also, or you can parry the jab with their southpaw, parry it and then come over with your own, or like a hook over their jab, so parry, come over. So it has a lot of great uses in that regard, and works really nicely. Has a good swing to it. You can move around the bag real nicely. Work your head movement. You can step to the side. So overall, excellent bag for what it is. Love the look of it. Price point's where it needs to be at. If I were to say anything, just tighten up the stitching to make it a little bit cleaner. But overall, really satisfied with this Title Boxing custom model slip bag. If you're looking to really help improve and really hammer down your defensive mechanics with your slipping, your bobbing, your weaving, I would recommend using this just as much as you would hitting the heavy bag or even your double end bag. You know, implement 4 rounds, 2 to 3 minutes each round at the end of your workout. That way you can really key in and focus in on your defense. And just like anything else in boxing, repetition over and over and over, that's what's really gonna help you develop these skills, so that when you do spar or you get into the ring, it's almost like second nature, just like breathing. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find this Title Boxing custom model slip bag. I'll see you guys later. Take care.